Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can implement pagination, Jetpack pagination, like the infinite scrolling, endless scrolling. So let's begin with adding the dependencies. So first of all, we need to add a dependency for our recycler view. Since we are going to use the retrofit, so let me add the retrofit dependency. We are going to use the Retrofit2. Along with that, as you know, like we need a JSON converter. So let me add that too. We are going to use the MVVM. So for the view model, we need to add this dependency. And this is the one which we are going to use for the paging. And we need the glide. So let me find it here. There you go. So let our project to be synced now, and then we'll start with. So let me make some layout. I'm going to just add simple recycler view so that once we'll download the data, we can display it on the recycler view. I am giving the recycler view ID now. Now let's add some packages like for the network. I'm adding a separate package for our network. Inside our network, we need to create some classes. First class, we need retro instance. Another interface, we need retro service. I have shown this step in my old videos as well. So this is how we make the API call using the retrofit. And in the retro instance class, we need to create a companion object, and this is the URL which we are going to hit. And it has basis information. So that we are going to use in the interface. Let me create a function which is going to return the retrofit instance. Here we need to pass our base URL. Now we need to add our converter factory, that is a JSON converter factory. And now call the build. That's it for this class. Now let's implement our retro service. So first thing, we need to define a function. You can give any name, whatever you want. And this is going to be the get API, and this is a part of URL, so we need to pass it here inside this. And the second page number we are going to take as the query parameter. This query is going to be the integer type. The page number is going to be the integer type. And then now what is going to return? It's a data class. So let's create our data class. Since this API is the Rick and Morty, so I'm creating a data class with the same name. I'm defining it as the data, and now removing these brackets. Inside this, we need a results. There you go. Yeah, we need a result of ArrayList. That is going to be the ArrayList. We need to define its characters. So let me format this JSON in the JSON formatter. It's really hard to read it. Yeah, now it's better. So you are going to use name, species, and the images. Just 3 parameters we need. So let me create another data class inside this, and I'm going to give it as a name character data, and inside this we need to pass all 3 parameters like name as a string type, second one is species again as the string type, and the next parameter is image. So let's copy the same name, and this is also with a string type. So that's it for our data class, and now we need to pass this as a array list. Now we need to take this and go to our retro services class and then pass it here, and make sure to call the appropriate package, otherwise it will show some error. Yeah, that's it for our retro service interface. Now inside our main activity, let's initialize our recycler view. I'm creating a separate function for that. Inside the apply block, we can define the layout manager, we can set the adapter, we can set the item decoration. So I'm simply going to create a row that is going to be the linear layout manager. we need a separator in each row. So let me add the decoration. It takes two parameters. One is the context and another one is the what type of divider we want, either vertical or horizontal. And then add this to our add item decoration and pass this decoration here. Now we need to set the adapter. So now we need an adapter. So let's create one adapter. I'm giving it as a name RecyclerView adapter. You can give any name according to your project. So now this adapter is going to be a little different adapter. So it is not going to be the RecyclerView adapter. It is going to be the paged list adapter so that it can handle the endless scrolling. So I'm extending it with the page list adapter. And it is going to hold the character data which we defined in our data class. And the second parameter is going to be the RecyclerView adapter. This is the view holder for our adapter class and the bind function as we created it many times. So now we need to pass this here. And we need to implement these two functions. Here we are inflating our layout, like how our recycler list row is going to look like. So let's create another XML layout for that. And now we need to pass this layout name in our adapter. There you go. And this inflator, we need to pass it to our myViewHolder class that is going to return by this function. Inside our on bind view holder function, we just simply need to pass the data. And there is a built-in function get item, and you just need to pass the position. Now we need to implement the bind function. So simply we need to grab the layouts, the IDs from the layout. Okay, why we are seeing this error? Diff util. Okay, so let's create a diff util as well. This is the necessary class we need to create. So I'm giving it as a name diff util callback. You can give any name. And this class need to be extend with the diff util dot item callback, the one, and it is going to take the character data, which is our data class. It is just to compare the items which is displayed in the row. Now simply we need to override its functions. So override these two functions here. Now we need to return the all item dot name. So it is going to compare with the name. If you have ID, then that would be better. Since we are storing the name, so I'm just comparing with the name. And when inside the content, we can check two parameters, name and the species. That's it for this class, and now we need to pass that diff util here in our view model. Inside the bind function, we need to make some image text view inside our layout. So let's add some text view and the image view so that we can set the data what we are going to download from the API. So I'm simply adding one image in the left and two text view on the right of that image. This text view is going to display the name, and another text view is going to display the species. So our layout is ready. Now let's implement our bind function. and extract our IDs of our layouts. And now inside the bind function, we need to simply set the data what we have in our character data object. Now here I'm going to show you how you can use the glide library to download the images and display it on the image view. So first of all, we need to extract the URL which is associated with the object of our character data class, and simply now we need to use glide.with and pass over image view, and then inside the load function we need to pass our URL which is going to download the image, and circle cop, and inside into function we need to pass our image view. Yeah, that's it for our adapter. Our adapter is ready, and now let's go and initialize it in our activity and set it to our recycler view. Yep, so our initialization of our recycler view is ready. Now we need our one function for the view model. So I'm creating a separate function as a private function so that it cannot be accessed outside of this class. Since we have created our view model class, now we need to create our view model. So let's create a view model for that. So we need to extend it with the view model. Now this time our live data is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a straightforward mutable live data. So we are going to create it as the paged list and the type of character data. So this live data is a bit different than the straightforward what we used in the past, like we pass over data class, but no, it's not going to be like similar as what we did in the past. It is going to be a type of paged list. So this function is going to set our observer, I'm creating a separate function, init paging. So here we need a factory data source factory. So let's create a separate class to create our data source factory for our character list type. So this is going to be a separate class. This class need to be extended with the data source dot factory. Inside this factory, we need to create another view model, mutable live data. But that data is going to be the list data source. So we need to create another class that is going to be our data source class. So I'm giving it as a name character list data source. And you can pass this here. Inside the init block, we can initialize it with our mutable live data. And here we need to initialize our data source class. Now let's implement our data source class that is going to extend with the page key data source and similar type of integer and character data. Now you need to implement few functions. So inside these functions, we need to make the Retrofit API call. So we need to put our code to make the API call here. So our error is gone now as soon as we extend it with the page key data source. And now inside the load initial function, we need to make the API call. So the way we can make the network API call, I'm going to show you now. So this is the same step what we did in the past as well. We are simply creating a retro instance and then we are calling the API what we define in the interface. And then we are setting it to the queue. And here we need to override two functions, on failure and on response. And inside the on response, we need to call callback.onResult, and then we need to pass what response we got, and then so this is response.body dot results. This is the list of that particular page. And here we need to pass the page number, next page ID. Before that, we can check if response is successful, then only do this. Send the data to our recycler view. And same function we need to define in our load after. That is like in a circular, it can keep downloading the data. So here we need to make a little bit change. We need to pass this now inside our view model. We need to initialize our factory. Page size, you can define the page size, the number of pages, the total number of pages you are going to get. In my case, it is I think 34. New fixed thread pool. I'm giving 5 at a time. Yep, now our view model is ready. Let's initialize our view model in our activity. Now we need to set the observer, what we define in our view model. And this is going to be the same type of live data which we define in our view model. So that will be the page list and type of character data. This one. And inside it the character data. Here we can check if data what we received, the page list, is not equal to null. Then submit list to our adapter. So our adapter, the page list adapter, have a function inbuilt, submit list. We can simply call that function. We don't need to explicitly create a separate function to set the data in our adapter. And we'll simply pass it to submit list function. In case of there is no data, maybe it's a API failure or something, so we can simply display a toast to user. Yep, let's review one time for what we did. Retro instance, retro service, all looks good to me. Side our data class, yeah, we are going to use 3 parameters. This is our data source, looks good to me. This is our data source factory, looks good. Diff util, that is simply comparing the data. Our main activity, we are calling, yeah, we are setting, initializing, setting up. Yeah, there we are missing one step. And inside our adapter, yep. Now the last thing, we need to add the permission, the internet permission. So in our manifest, don't forget to add the manifest permission. Yep. Let's run our application and see how it look like. There you go. We can see the data, but our text view is overriding, so we may need to make some changes in our layout, the row layout. Okay, I can see the issue. So let's correct all these layout. Let's run it again and see how it look like. There you go. So it's working absolutely fine. So it's downloading the images through the glide, and it's like keep downloading. It's not stopping anywhere. So until it download, until it reach to the page number 30. Yeah, so it's keep downloading the data and displayed it on our recycler view. So this all we have achieved with the Jetpack paging library. We use glide, we use retrofit, we use RecyclerView. So everything in this we have implemented successfully. So guys, that's all for today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.